As you can hear now, I just pressed record on the computer, but is it going to be audio as well? It's going to be video.
Are we recording?
Yeah, it's recording.
Once that goes to 7,
Yeah, we're going to start in a few seconds, actually.
Yeah, so just get ready.
Yep.
We'll be very punctual. Punctuality.
Tonight, yeah.
Tonight.
Punctuality is key.
Yes, it is. And tonight we have Tommy Burnett, a mentalist.
Yes, indeed.
Welcome to Avon Dead's
David S.
David S.
podcast.
Yes.
Tommy is also a magician, mentalist / magician. We are honored to have him as our first ever guest on this podcast. And thank you all, Colleen back and amazing Richie, for tuning in also. Yeah, you know, this is our first one. We're very excited to do it. And
I know, I just want to say we're also recording this right now. So if anyone wants to listen to it after, we'll put it up on YouTube. We're still working on stuff like that. Yes, exactly.
We'll put it up all over the internet, indeed.
Hi, Davida.
Hi, how you doing?
Oh, great. Hello,
Great,
Davida.
Yeah. Hello. Yeah.
Thanks for coming. Thanks for coming, sweetheart.
Great.
All right, Tommy.
Thank you. Thank you for coming, Davida. So, okay, we're going to kick off with this legend, Tommy Burnett. How would you like to begin, Dave? What would be...
Tommy, talk to us about where you're from and your background and where you were born and how you got into what you do.
Yes.
Basically.
Are you a native New Yorker?
I come from the planet P57.
Okay.
Wow.
That's hilarious.
Lucky man.
Okay. I was born and raised in New York City, Manhattan.
Yes.
Upper West Side.
Upper West Side?
Yeah, Upper West Side, when it was cool to live there, not like it is now, where it's all gentrified. Back then, we actually had real drug addicts nodding off on the street corner. So that's when it was really cool.
Right.
But seriously, I grew up on the Upper West Side. My father was an actor. My mother was a dancer and choreographer.
Wow.
My stepfather was an actor as well. So I kind of had it in my blood to end up in this great life of being a performer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so Tommy, when did you begin performing?
I don't remember this, but supposedly I did my first magic trick in front of an audience when I was 6 years old.
Wow.
And I don't remember doing it, but apparently I did what's known as an ace assembly, which is when you take the 4 aces out of the deck and put them back in, and the deck gets shuffled, and then they automatically come back to the top. And apparently I did that at the age of 6. I don't remember doing that, but it's one of my mother's favorite stories to tell about me. Professionally, I did my first children's birthday party when I was about 14 years old.
Oh.
For like $50 back in 1975, I guess.
75.
Wow. Okay.
And $50 was a lot of money back then for a teenager. It's probably like making $300 now. Yeah, so I did that for a couple of years. I do make a lot of money. And to be honest, I really wasn't that good either. I was okay. But looking back, I was basically, I would buy something from the magic shop. I would read what the instructions say, and I would do it exactly the way it was written. There was no me involved. It was all. And something I've learned over the years, if you want to be a good performer doing anything, it has to be you. It has to be you that you're selling, not what you do, right?
Right.
And that took me a lot of years, many years to use that to my advantage. Because I was born with cerebral palsy.
Yes.
You know, and that was a big struggle for me. I've had low self-esteem for many years.
Yes.
And still, to this day, I have really bad bouts of low self-esteem where I lock myself up in my room and just be mean to myself. And I'm better about it now than I used to be, but I still have my days where I'm like, I'm a piece of crap and nobody likes me and I don't deserve to be successful. So it's been an upward climb for me, like everybody else. I mean, I don't think I'm special in that way. I know plenty of people who are far more talented than I am, that are either in the same position or worse off than I am. Tells me it's not about talent. If you want to be successful, it's about putting in the work, and it's about meeting the right people, and it's about being in the right place at the right time, and it's really ultimately about whether or not the universe says it's in the cards for me. I figure I'm getting up there now, so if I don't become successful soon, it may not happen. But I also look at it this way, that I do have a pretty good following of people who love me and love watching what I do, and a lot of people don't have that. So I'm already successful, and I don't need the money to prove that to myself anymore. Although the money would be nice.
Of course. Yeah. I think you might have answered this question, because you were saying about like when you were younger reading it off a book, but so you didn't like train with anyone, with like, or any individual, like, or you did or no?
Yeah, not until I was older. I guess when I was younger, I had my mind went to like different places. So neither of my parents. Well, okay, let me begin here. I love my parents, and I know my parents love me, and they raised me the best that they knew how.
But there's a but here.
There's a big but coming up.
We can all relate to this but.
There's always a but remember the word but, B-U-T, is an acronym for behold the underlying truth.
Wow.
Go for it, Tommy.
Yes.
Yeah. So, both of my parents were performers.
Yes.
And they both knew how hard it is to make a living in any performing profession. So
were they successful? Were they?
My father was more so than my mother, but my mother had her own gas company from like 1975 to about 1990, and then it disbanded. But my father was one of the top TV and radio commercial actors all country.
Wow.
From 1975 to about 1990. 1995, so a good 20 years, and he was making like not what he's got now, so he won't mind, but he made about 200 grand a year um, back
Cool.
in the 70s and 80s. And so he put food on the table, and he hustled. Actually, when we leave the screen for a minute, I'm going to show you a photograph.
Please.
Yeah, sure.
Yes.
Wow.
Cool.
Yeah. Interesting guy.
Yeah. Mr. Burnett.
I forgot to take this down. I wanted to show you anyway. He was in a movie with Kirk Douglas and Faye Dunaway when I was about 6 years old, and the movie was supposed to make him a star. He was actually the supporting male actor in the movie.
Uh-huh.
When the movie hit the cutting room, it was 4.5 hours long, and they had to cut the movie down.
Uh-huh.
They cut the movie down to about 2.5 hours, and of course, my dad was most of what he could cut it for, right?
Oh,
This is I'm trying to get it with the light. The light doesn't hit.
with Kirk Douglas, yeah.
It's Kirk Douglas over here, and Faye Dunaway over here,
Nice.
Brilliant.
and there's my dad in the middle.
Cool.
You,
What was the movie? What was the name of the movie?
it's called The Arrangement
All right.
by Ilya Kazan.
Yep.
Ilya Kazan was the director, and he wrote it. I got to meet Kirk Douglas and Faye Dunaway and Ilya Kazan, and had no idea who any of them were because I was like six and a half, I think.
Yeah.
But the movie company flew all of us out there for the premiere, and nobody bothered to tell my father that he got mostly cut out of the film.
Oh.
So he went to the premiere thinking that he was going to be in most of the movie, but he was only in it for about 15 minutes. And it was at that point in his career that he realized if he was going to make any money, that he had to treat it like a business.
Yeah.
And hang on for a minute, there's a kid in the hallway.
Bring him in if you want.
Yeah.
Is that one of your kids?
No.
Kids, Tommy?
As far as I know, I don't have any kids.
Touche.
As far as I know. It's possible, but I got it.
Tommy, I just like to go back to what was it like growing up in New York in the 70s?
Yes, we want to know more about that. The contrast between New York now and then, and the personalities,
Did you see the new Joker movie?
I did see the new Joker movie, yeah.
So you remember the scene when he was walking down 42nd Street and all these like porno theaters and that's exactly how it was. I wasn't allowed past like 96th Street on my own until I was like 14 or 15 years old because it was pretty dangerous. I wasn't even actually allowed to go on the other side of Broadway. We were on 104th between Broadway and West End Avenue.
Oh, okay.
Now it's a really classy neighborhood. Back then, it wasn't a bad neighborhood, but you just had to be careful where you went, right?
Morningside Heights? Is it
Morningside Heights is a little higher up.
Okay.
Morningside Heights is like 110th Street to like 126th Street or thereabouts. But bringing up Morningside Heights, Morningside Park, when I was a kid, used to have a pack of wild dogs sitting around in the park. And so nobody went in the park except for drug dealers. Hey,
It's like a You okay?
Hey, Miss Ella, can you turn the mic off, please?
Having a few technical difficulties.
There she is.
We're just shutting up this town. What's her name? King Kong.
Yeah.
Continue.
Just real quick, Miss Ella has her own show called The Kong Show on TV, and I just performed for her show last month, and so she's been really supportive of me and coming to all my events recently. So I just want to say thank you, Ella, and yeah.
Are you guys sleeping together?
Are you in love?
No.
I am in love with Tommy because he's mesmerizing. But I am married to Chucky Baby, so
Yeah.
I'm in love with two
Yeah.
now.
Oh,
You
very
guys
good.
could.
Thank you. Anyway, moving right along. Moving right along.
You were saying about New York.
Yeah. So again, I remember, like, right now there's this big multiplex movie theater there. Actually, there's a couple of them now. But back in the 70s, those were all, like, well, not all of them. Most of them were porn theaters.
Oh, wow. Did you go in regularly, Tommy?
Not regularly, but I went into a couple of them. And it was pretty creepy.
Creepy, all right.
Yeah, it was pretty creepy. I mean, you know, it was, I was like 15, 16 years old, and they were all old men wearing raincoats. And,
Oh,
you know,
wow.
Yeah.
Coming of age.
Yeah, not my thing. But back then you were still allowed to smoke in movie theaters.
Right.
So I started smoking cigarettes when I was 11 years old, behind my junior high school, and I don't know if it was peer pressure or whatnot, but I started like smoking weed and drinking with my friends. And that kind of took precedence. I still did magic as a hobby, but it wasn't a priority yet.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
It really didn't become a priority for me until I was much older.
Yeah. What were your grades like in high school?
Yeah.
And like, we're curious. And like, did having cerebral palsy affect that, or did you go to a special school or something?
Yeah. I usually say this in my act. I went to the High School of Art and Design, and I had to take tests to get in. So the first couple of years I did fairly well. I was never good at math until I got to college. But so my math grades were not that great. But all my other grades, like history and English, I always got A's. Science, I got A's and B's. It wasn't until my junior year that I started drinking and smoking weed a little too much. Hanging out with my friends and cutting school and
falling in love.
I honestly don't remember my junior year in high school. So yeah, Anthony's like, yeah, I hear you, bro. My parents sent me off to a high school in New Hampshire for my senior year, which was kind of based on Outward Bound. So we did a lot of hiking and camping and traveling. We went to Washington, D.C. to learn about government. We went to Arizona to learn how to rock climb. Yeah, we did, and the
I don't know why that was funny, but that was very funny. We
You
don't
know, the class was science and environment. So we went to Arizona, we went to Florida to do a 6-week bicycle tour around the coast of Florida. And my God rest my father's soul, but he was a cheap bastard. And
Was he a communist?
no, but I am, and I'm highly offended.
We'll get to that.
We'll get to that soon.
He got me a used bicycle to go on a 6-week bike tour around the coast of Florida that kept breaking down every 5 fucking miles. And like the chain would pop off, and everybody would have to stop and wait for me to fix the chain, and then we go another 5 miles, and the chain would pop off again. But this is actually interesting. When we stopped in Coconut Grove, I went to a public library to see what magic books they had in the library, and I found a book. I think I ended up shoplifting the book, if I remember correctly. I can't remember what the book was, but it got me thinking about wanting to do magic again, and possibly do it for a living. And I started doing private events again a couple of years after graduating high school. I got arrested somewhere in there. I got arrested for.
Tell us more about that.
Yeah, I'm going to.
Okay.
All right. Hey, easy man.
What's this about?
We're not going to shoot.
Are you a cop? Are you a cop? No.
You're a threat to the state.
Yeah. I was stupid. I was 19 and I did some shoplifting.
Oh, Winona Ryder.
Exactly. And I got caught and I went to jail. I went to jail for like 8 days.
What did you steal?
Really stupid stuff like a couple of wallets. I'll tell you the whole story.
Sorry, how many days did you go to the prison?
I was working at a 5 and 10 or 5 and dime shop.
Where in Florida?
And my boss hadn't paid me. My boss hadn't paid me in 2 weeks.
Okay.
So I felt justified in a sense that if he was not going to pay me monetarily, I'm going to just get stuff from his store and it would sell the stuff and that way. It made sense to me at the time, right?
Yeah.
Like I said, I was really bad at math, so and I do the math there. So a couple of days later, I'm at my house and I'm like really paranoid. And I hear a knock on the door, and there's a police, it was like a sheriff at my front door. At this point, I'm living in a town called Stanford, New York. And
Stanford, New York.
Yeah.
Where is that?
It's about 2.5 hours out of the city. Like a stupid kid, I answered the door, and he asked me my name, and I told him my name, and he goes, "Well."
That was a rookie move, Tommy.
Yeah. He said, "I hate to tell you if I have a warrant out for your arrest." and then he goes, "Wait a minute, are you that kid who does magic?" And I'm like,
And then he disappeared.
because at this point, I had met the mayor of Stanford, and Stanford is a really small town. So
You were
so
big in Stanford.
meeting the mayor is not doesn't make me important. Right? Everybody knew who the mayor was, right?
Everybody
But
right.
I even went out drinking with the mayor a couple of times. But, so he goes, yeah, you're the guy who performed for the mayor, and you got out of a pair of handcuffs. And I'm like, yeah, that was me. So he goes, so do me a favor. And he pulls out his handcuffs. He goes, do me a favor. And he goes, click. Don't try and get out of this because I don't want to have to shoot you. And click.
Wow.
And he puts me in the car. And he's driving me to the jail, right? And he has to make a stop at the police station for a second. So he pulls over in front of the police station. He has me in the passenger seat, and I'm handcuffed. And he goes, Tommy, do me a favor. Do not, I repeat, do not get out of those handcuffs when I'm gone. And I'm like, okay, I promise I won't. But he seemed to have a good sense of humor. So as a joke, I took the handcuffs off and I hung them over the steering wheel and I waited for him to come back. So he comes back about 5 minutes later and he looks in the window and he looks over at me. When he looks in the window at the handcuffs and he looks back at me and he goes, Tommy, didn't I tell you not to do that? And I go, yeah, but I think he has a good sense of humor. And he laughed for a minute and he goes, do me a favor, put the handcuffs back on. I put them back on. And then he took me to jail.
So, how was jail? Did you have fun in jail?
I was scared, and, because I had never been to jail before or since. There was a county jail. And it's funny, when they were processing me, I remember this very clearly. The sergeant in charge was like, go ahead and put him in with the nice guys. And I was like, oh, thank you guys, thank you guys. And apparently they put me in the drunk tank part. So everybody in there was like an alcoholic. And alcoholics are usually pretty nice. I ended up getting out about 8 days later. But I straightened up my act. I asked to get a job at a performing arts camp teaching magic. And they really didn't have a magic
program.
It's a pretty well known performing arts camp in New York, and it was still around today. But I was the one that pretty much started their magic program, and now a lot of young kids go there to learn magic. So thank you. You're welcome, kids. I don't get any credit for that.
Do I detect a little bit of bitterness there, Tommy?
Yeah. Is there a bit of anger?
Only a little bit.
A little, yeah.
Oh, that Renee is here. How about that? Well,
You're changing the subject, but go on.
I do have friends.
So
Renee is a wonderful musician, by the way. What was I? Okay, so I'm out of town. I'm getting my life back again.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Go on.
Go ahead.
No, I was just wondering. I don't mean to just the last question regarding the prison.
Yeah.
So you were thrown in with the good guys, so it was okay. So nobody. I'm just curious about this stuff because of my own personal past. Nobody tried to make love to you in the prison? Nobody tried to?
No.
No, it didn't happen. Just curious. I have to ask.
All right, good.
Moving on.
Yeah, we're moving on.
But I'm getting the sense, that you had the opposite happen to you. But
Yeah, that's so true. But we won't talk about me tonight. It's
That's
about you.
for another.
Yeah.
But
You went to college,
I did go to college.
tell us more about that.
please.
Whereabouts?
I started out at SUNY Morrisville in upstate New York,
Oh,
a 2-year agricultural and technical school.
Wow.
agriculture.
Yeah. And believe it or not, the one thing that I thought I was not good at, mathematics, is what I ended up majoring in.
Wow. You could have been an accountant.
But, well, I was studying applied math, so it would have been more in the science area, like NASA would have been more the area I would have gone into. But this is why I am not a mathematician. In my third year, I actually went. I transferred to Colorado State
Oh,
University in
Boulder, is it?
Fort Collins. Yeah. And that's when I started doing magic as a sideline to make money again. But I was studying mathematics, and the reason was all my friends and family said, "Wow, you're such a great artist. You should be an artist. Give up performing because you have a speech impediment. Nobody's gonna want to go see you because you have a speech impediment.
Wow.
But you should be." And these are my parents, right? But that's a whole other story. I really believe the economy is to protect me and not to hurt me, but they hurt me. But that's another story. I get to Colorado, and I'm in my third year. I'm taking calculus 3. Calc 3, and none of the students in the class could figure out this one problem. So we asked the teacher, who was a grad student, to put it on the board and explain it to us. So he put the problem on the board, and it fills up the whole fucking wall, like the whole board is filled with a problem. He gets down to the end, and he gets the same answer that we did, and it was the wrong answer.
Oh.
He comes around, very stoic, probably about 30 years old, and he says to us, "Well, I don't have to know how to do this. You do, so go figure it out." And I was like, you know what? Fuck this, I'm out. And I quit the program, and I ended up finishing in something else. I ended up finishing up in computer science.
Okay. And that was all in Boulder, Colorado.
That was in Fort Collins,
Fort
Colorado.
Collins, okay.
Yes. It's about an hour away from Boulder. About an hour and 15 minutes from Boulder.
And then did you come back to New York after?
I ended up staying there for 14 years.
You stayed in Colorado for 14 years.
Wow.
All right.
14 years.
Tell us about Colorado.
A lot of the time, I wish I never left.
Interesting guy.
But I've met some incredible people since I came back here. I'm glad I did, but part of me wishes I never left. But so yeah, I stayed in Colorado. I started dating a really nice woman who was a Native American, part Native American,
Great.
part
Native American woman.
Yeah, Native American and Castilian. So, she was one of the most beautiful women I've ever seen in my life.
Uh-huh.
Um, and she wanted to be with me, so I was like, wow, yes, you know.
Of course.
So I stayed. Um, and then when she dumped me, um, then when we broke up, I kind of took a pill spin for a while, and drinking, drugs, uh, a little bit of homelessness here and there.
Wow.
Interesting.
Yeah, not for very long, but I got kicked out of my place, and I was sleeping on the street for about a month. Um, and then I checked myself into a psychiatric hospital. Because you must be crazy if you're willing to be homeless. At least that's what I was thinking at the time. Um, and it turned out to be one of the best things I have ever done. I found out that I'm bipolar, and that's a fairly common thing nowadays. And so I got on some medication, and oddly enough, my life started getting better, and started performing more. And I did my first mentalism show in Colorado back in 2000.
Mm-hmm.
At the 20-year mark. Um, and this is where it gets interesting.
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
no, like it wasn't interesting before. Um, um, I did my first mentalism show for about 75, 80 people. And
Oh,
it was the first, and I was nervous as fuck because I had never done a show like that before. Um, and it was the first time in my life that I got reactions like, "Oh my God, you must be really psychic because what you did was so." I mean, I felt like you were like staring into my soul, you know. Um, Unfortunately, I made one woman cry, but um, on the same token, part of me was like, "Wow, I made a woman cry." Yeah,
Because did you do that because you gave her an underlying truth?
yeah. She asked me if I could contact her father, um, and like like a real novice, I I pretended that I could talk to the dead, which I've never done since. Um,
That, that that's hilarious in a way, you know. So like
it is and it isn't. I
you
mean,
lied,
I,
you
I
lied.
learned, yeah, I learned a very important lesson that day,
Yeah.
uh, because I didn't mean anything by it.
Sure.
I was just trying to be entertaining,
Right.
uh,
Right.
and I now know how detrimental that can be. And just real quick, right now I work, I do a show with a woman who is a medium,
Mhm.
and um, I I'm doing it strictly for the entertainment value. I neither support nor um, what's the opposite of support? I neither say I neither say that I believe what she's doing to be genuine or that what she's doing is fake. I have
Mhm.
my opinions, but I keep that to myself. I'm strictly working with her because I think it's an entertaining hour and a half that we do together. And I suggest that you check it out. I'll talk about that later. But that woman to this day does not talk to me anymore. The woman,
I'm sorry about that. That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
But it actually leads me. Sorry to interrupt, but it leads me to a question that I'm curious about.
Yeah, please.
When you're performing, have you ever had to deal with like hecklers? And I'd love to know how you deal with that and people saying whatever, like challenging you.
That's why I bring this to every show.
Nice. Great.
But do you bring your giant Starbucks mug as well?
Yeah. Are you a corporate man, Tommy?
I have stock. I own stock.
Can I just say? I think it's a two-part question.
Do you have any tips?
Yeah.
It's regarding the heckling, but also like I was wondering, and if you were comfortable talking about this, like regarding the cerebral palsy, like growing up, and not just growing up, but like when you're younger, but also right now or throughout your life, how people treated you. Were people like really nice to you, or were there some people who would make fun of you, or what kind of stuff would happen, and how that affected you emotionally, and or maybe inspired you to overcome it all? You know what I mean? Whatever. Yeah.
And
Has
that changed over time?
Yes. Has that changed over time?
Yeah.
With the PC culture.
Yeah. Those are really good questions.
Thank you.
We're good.
You are good.
Proceed.
That's why I agree to do this. If I thought you guys were hacks, I would. Sorry, I can't do this.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, thank you. As a child, I was teased a lot, but I also had a lot of friends. But because I took things very personally growing up, it didn't matter how many friends I had that loved me. I always worried about the people who made fun of me. Some of the names people called me were like Spit Bomb, Dribble Puss.
Dibblepuss?
Dibblepuss.
Dribble.
Puss.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And that was actually quite clever, actually.
Yeah, it's very creative. Yeah.
Because I didn't actually realize until right now that the word puss means mouth.
Right.
Yeah.
We know.
And I don't know if they realized that back then or not, but it actually is pretty clever.
Yeah. Intelligent.
Spit Bomb. Then how did that go? They you know the song Fire by who was it? Was it Boston or other guys? Fire the way you walk. And
Ohio Players.
Ohio Players, thank you. Yeah. So they rewrote the words to that and said Tommy, bum 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 the way you walk and talk, it really sounds stupid. And stuff like that. Yeah, and that's just my mom. No, I was just kidding.
Tommy, sorry.
Please.
Any who influenced you in terms of any actors, musicians,
magicians, mentalists
influenced you in your career?
Well, okay. So Harry Houdini, definitely.
Harry Houdini, okay.
Yeah, Harry Houdini. I have a lot of his. I don't know if you can see, but I have a lot of his posters here in the corner.
Harry Houdini, yes.
Yeah, Houdini. the great Claudia Alexander. Up top is a sign poster from David Blaine.
David Blaine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's funny, I'll tell you about David Blaine. When he first came on the scene, I didn't care for him very much.
Uh-huh.
I thought he was, I thought he had no charisma, no performance style whatsoever. But I've watched him over the years. One thing, he's brought magic into the Latin community, because I didn't know this, but David Blaine is actually part Latin. Um, so, a lot of the young Latin musicians, or younger, because they're older now, have been influenced by David Blaine. I was not. I was influenced by Doug Henning back in the 70s, who was the first musician to not wear a top hat and tails.
Oh, wow.
He came out looking like a hippie,
Right.
long hair, and he wore like jazz pants and jazz shoes, like he was getting ready to do a jazz hands, you know. And he would come out and go, "Isn't magic wonderful?" And he talked with us like hippy dippy, but he was wonderful because he changed the whole persona of magic for like the previous 50 years or so, or maybe more than that, because you had to wear a black tuxedo, with, and throughout the years the tuxedo changed, but it was always a tuxedo. Even somewhere I have a picture of me when I was 14 years old, sporting the top hat and tails. But after him was David Copperfield. David Copperfield started incorporating music, movies. Like he would take a theme of a movie, like for example, Psycho. He did a wonderful rendition of a magic trick called the Assistant's Revenge, where the assistant straps the magician up in his straps and then pulls a curtain around the front and comes all the way around. And when it comes back to over here, the magician has the curtain and opens it up, and the assistant is now bound up in the restraints.
Wow.
Its first place, David Copperfield did his version of that using the shower scene from Psycho, where the assistant is taking a shower in the bathtub, and he has the wig on like Norman Bates' mother with the knife, and he goes around behind the curtain, and then when they open the curtain, he's not locked up in the shower, and the assistant is on the outside. He did. He took music like. Oh yeah, he started incorporating music by like Gershwin. He did a levitation, one of my favorite levitations of all time, where it covers a woman up in this big silk, and the silk rises, and you can see the bottom underneath, and it rises above them, and he pulls the silk down, and the woman vanishes in midair. I was, oh my God, I want to do that. I want to learn how to do that. And I eventually did learn how to do it, and did do it once. The thing with those big illusions are they are really expensive and really big, and unless you have a place to put them, it's not a good not a good form of
Right.
Hang on for a second.
Yeah, sure. Copperfield was an international star. I watched him on TV in Ireland when I was growing up. He was international. Copperfield was international. He was well known.
Yeah. Now, a little bit more about Copperfield. I learned a lot from him about advertising and promoting yourself and promoting shows. When do you remember back in the 80s when he made the Statue of Liberty disappear?
No.
I think I've seen that. I think I've seen that. Yeah.
You should check it out on YouTube. What's good about that for me, or what I learned from that was it's a pretty standard illusion. I'm not going to tell you how it works, but he took a standard illusion and made it so big. He made it international. Every TV station had it on the air that year. A couple of the major newspapers in New York, like the Daily News, the headline of the Daily News for 2 days was simply, will he do it? Nothing else, no explanation, no article underneath. And the day he did it, or the day after he did it rather, the headline was, he did it. The picture of the Statue of Liberty underneath, and then an explanation of what he did. And I thought it was fucking brilliant. Because everybody lost it. Everybody lost it. Somebody wrote something in the chat here. Well, you need to consider.
Question from Anthony.
Thanks for getting involved, Anthony.
Yes.
Founder. First founder of what, Anthony? Is Anthony still here?
I think he's asking a founder of.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me? I'm sorry.
Yes.
I don't know.
Oh, hi, Anthony. Hi.
Hi.
Hey,
Questions from the audience.
I was just wondering. As you were talking, I was Wikipediaing. I was looking up some of the names, and I noticed that Harry Houdini went back. Early, he died in 1926, I think. So I was just curious as to was he the first? Was he considered the pioneer of the whole?
That's a very good question. That is a very good question. And no, there were a lot of other musicians around the same time. There was Alexander Ferguson, there was Herman, there was Carter, there was if Renee is listening, Renee can probably tell us other ones. But they were all working together. The only difference between Harry Houdini was he was very good at promoting himself. He had lots of ways of promoting himself. He would have an assistant go into a town that he was going to be performing in 3 days in advance. And he would have the assistant tell everybody in the town, hey, I just saw this guy, Harry Houdini, and he's coming here in 3 days. You really have to see this guy. This guy is amazing, right? He also he worked for a circus that was a sort of a religious circus. I forget the name of it, but they he was like one of the smaller acts, and he actually, if you live nearby, you should go to the Houdini Museum in New York City. I used to work there. It's pretty cool. They have all this memorabilia owned by the owner. But my echoing. Okay. Anyway, that's weird.
Anyway,
that's really interesting.
Yeah.
Tommy,
Dave has a really interesting question for you here.
Well, I don't know if it's interesting, but it's.
I think it is.
Are you a spiritual man, Tommy? Do you believe in God, or who is God to you?
Does he exist?
Does he exist?
Is it all a magic trick?
God is a woman and she's pissed.
Oh.
God is a woman and she's pissed. Interesting.
Yeah.
Um,
No.
We need more. Can you extrapolate on that, please?
As actually, there's an old joke about a guy who dies on the operating table, and they bring him back, and they ask him if he's seen anything, and he says, "Yeah, I saw God," and they're like, "Really? What is he like?" And he goes, "Well, first of all, she's a woman and she's pissed." So I honestly believe that God is neither male nor female.
Cool.
God is non-gender or genderless.
Is God transgender?
Yes.
I think God. Okay, good question. I think God is all inclusive. God is all inclusive. So transgender does exist within that realm. But on the same token, there is no gender. God just is. That's how I would have.
Okay, and is there an opposite of God? Do you believe Satan or Lucifer or no?
So you're not a black magic guy?
No, honestly, what I think.
What about the balance between?
I'll tell you my definition of the devil. I think the devil is ego. The ego says, I don't need God. All I need is myself.
Interesting, yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Now, I know a lot of people that believe that, and I'm not saying they're wrong. I'm just stating my opinion. If what all the writings say about God, and most of them have commonalities, and most of the commonalities are that God is everything. If God truly is everything, then there cannot be any opposite.
Wow, brilliant. I'm just going to read, because it's kind of a nice comment from Davida that leads me into a question. She says in the chat here, Tommy is being very modest about his gift. He gave me confirmation of my destiny in one simple act this week. He is truly amazing. So that's lovely feedback from Davida.
Yeah.
And because I was wondering about, I'm slightly confused perhaps on the whole like mentalist thing. Like, are you able to predict the future, what people's destiny is, what's in store for humanity, for an individual?
Because we'd like to know.
Yeah, we'd like to know what's going on and what do you think is going on, and how are things going to unfold in the world?
Well, it's a good thing you did this podcast today, because you're gonna die tomorrow. No. Good question. Actually, this is all leading into mentalism. There are many definitions of what mentalism is.
666.
The most common one is that it is a different kind of magician. Most people say a mentalist is a magician of the mind. And that's true. But there's a history behind mentalism that goes back to ancient Egypt and ancient Greece that a lot of people don't realize.
Oh.
There's something called the Hermetic philosophy, it supposedly comes from the Greek god Hermes, who came down and taught these 7 principles, supposedly. And the first principle in the Hermetic philosophy is called mentalism. And the first principle states pretty much that all is mind, everything is mental, meaning that that basically I create with my mind. Um, if I want prosperity, it has to start with my mind. If I want health, it has to start with my mind. If I want a good career, it has to start with my mind. If I want a relationship, it has to start with my mind. Now, I take that a step further because I think the mind without the heart and the spirit um, is unbalanced. So there has to be a balance between the mind, the heart, and the spirit. Um, and so for me, I mentalism. Well, okay. For me, the mind includes the heart and the spirit. It's not just the brain. The mind is all throughout the body. The brain is the physical aspect or a physical aspect of the mind, but so is the heart, and so is your gut, which is where all your instincts come from, right? It's all inclusive. So there has to be a balance there in order for these philosophies to work. Now, having said that, I always say I am an entertainer first and foremost. So I do a lot of tricks, but I don't just do tricks. I also do like readings and um, energy work, like Reiki types of stuff. I also do I do like tarot cards. I read auras. Um, like people like Gavita believe I have a gift. I don't like to say I'm psychic because I don't like putting a label on it. Because I think when you put a label on things, you make that thing different. And I don't think I'm any different from anybody else. I've just been honing my skills for 20 plus years.
Yeah.
And hopefully we'll have some time for me to be able to
Yeah.
demonstrate some of that.
Yes, we're going to get to your skills in a minute, but I just have one last question.
Oh, no. I have a night.
Cool. But just wondering, I mean, because
this is a cheeky question.
it's a cheeky question. I mean, I probably know the answer because you're such a kind, warm man. But I have to ask, have you ever, like, there's someone out there that you think, oh, that guy's or that girl is a fuck, whatever. Have you ever tried to, like, use your magic to kind of get back at someone or to be nasty to someone? Is that possible? Have you ever been evil, like, towards
or lustful?
Yeah. Have you ever used your magic in a abused your power, so to speak?
The only time I did that was I already explained when that woman cried because I told her that I spoke when I heard her father from beyond, and he told me to tell you that he's fine and for you not to worry about him.
Right.
And she broke into tears. And when she broke into tears, I felt so bad.
Sure.
But I had to finish the show. I couldn't just stop the show and run up to her and say, I'm really sorry. I'm just, this is just a show. I had to finish the show. And unfortunately, I paid a price for that. And so I don't mess with it because
cool.
Even the tricks, I don't mess with that because it can. My teacher now, my mentor now, is a very kind man who started in magic along the same lines that I did, but he had a little bit more opportunity than I did. So he did his first big illusion stage show when he was like 12 years old, I think. So he had a little more advantage than I did. But one thing that I learned from him is that magic is not about God.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I have it on my wall, is to remind me this isn't about me going, oh, look at me, I'm a dancing monkey, I'm a dancing monkey, look at me, I got the symbols, you know, that's not what this is about. This is about,
No, I thought that's what it was all about.
I know, I'll see you later. Okay.
That's entertainment.
Oh, yeah, we hear you.
Yeah.
It's about making a connection.
Yes.
My friend Peter Turner, who's a mentalist out in the UK, he said once in a lecture that if he had 5 minutes with an audience member, and that he has the opportunity to either do one really fabulous trick or make a connection with that person, he would choose to make a connection with that person. And that resonated with me because my whole life, it was about the guy. It was about looking at me. It was about, hey, I am different, and look at me, feel sorry for me. I don't talk good, but I'm really creative, and I can do these things. Just look at me, and that's what it was about. It was about look at me, look at me, look at me. And it wasn't until I stopped doing that and started saying, well, okay, if it isn't about me, then what is it about?
Right.
Yes.
It sounds like you grew a lot.
Yeah.
Good.
You know, yeah. As a person and as a mentalist and as an artist.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's what it's all about, right?
Yeah.
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 Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
And that's why, having been in Ed's class at one time and watching you transform people the way you do.
Thank you.
Please don't say too much of that now, because this man's ego is off the charts.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I know. Don't worry.
Oh, okay.
Don't worry. I'm about to knock.
He's going to knock me down. He's going to building up.
He's setting you up.
Yeah, I'm about to knock him down a few pegs.
Good. Do it.
But in all seriousness, that is a very special talent to be able to
Thank you.
see in someone else what needs to be changed and have the guts, because I know it takes guts to say it.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of the time, I mean, that's what I had to learn as far as like doing genuine readings with people. I had to listen to what my heart and what my gut was saying, and have enough guts to be able to say it, and trust that it's the right thing for me to be saying at that given moment.
Right.
And that's why I have a lot of respect for you. And now comes the
Here we go.
but yeah, that's what happened to me. I have grown a lot in the last 5 or 6 years.
In the last 5 or 6 years, you said?
Yeah, since I've known my mentor I've known of my mentor since 1981.
Yeah.
But I never actually met him or talked to him until about maybe 7 years ago. And that was to ask him a question about, I don't even remember what it was about. And he sent me like a 1-word reply. And I was like, wow, this guy's a dick, because I was expecting at least, well, give me like a sentence.
Right.
It's like a 1-word reply. And I don't even remember what the 1-word reply was, but it made me say, well, okay, forget this guy. And then about a year later, he wrote to me and invited me to be a student of his. because he had seen me perform somewhere, and he sent me this link to be a part of a class that he teaches. And my life has never been the same since.
Wow.
This man, the way you do for a lot of people, this is why I'm bringing this up.
What's his name?
You're not unique, Ed. You're not unique.
What's his name?
His name is Kenton Nepper, Knepper, Kenton Nepper.
Okay, cool.
He is really the unsung hero of mentalism today.
Interesting.
He has written so many wonderful books and come up with so many unbelievable theories about making mind reading and mentalism look and feel real, because he adds real magic into his act. He does real energy work. He does real power of suggestion. Very little of what he does is fake. And I'm so glad I met him.
That's beautiful.
It's taken my performance levels from here all the way up to here in just a few months.
Sorry, Tommy, I asked earlier about heckling, but I guess one last thing regarding that. Because like you mentioned what I do, like teaching clown, and what a lot of that's about, what do you do when you bomb? So like I'm wondering, with your magic tricks, if what happens when the audience aren't impressed? Have you had that experience, and like how do you deal with that? And
I deal with it a lot better now than I used to.
Tell us how you used to and how you do now.
I used to panic.
Panic, sure.
And like especially if there were other musicians in the room watching me, and I would bomb and I would look at them like, and all of this stuff would be going on in my mind. I'm like, guys, these guys are gonna hate me. They're gonna think I suck. Can any of you guys help me out? Oh my God, I'm a piece of shit. What am I gonna do? And all of this is happening in a span of a few seconds. And people pick up on that. People pick up on that.
Sure.
On a subconscious level. The same way if I'm doing something and I don't believe it, and I'm sure you get this too. If somebody is reciting a monologue, and if they don't believe it, it's gonna suck.
Of course.
Yeah.
Believe it, right? So it's the same thing with magic. If I don't believe in what I'm doing, I don't believe it either, right? So when I bend a spoon with my mind, I actually believe that spoon is bending, regardless of whether I'm using trickery or not. I am in my head thinking this spoon is actually bending.
Right.
Now, in my head, I'm not pretending whether I'm using the trick or not.
So Tommy, speaking of that, would you like to do a trick for us, or something cool?
That would be a beautiful way to close the evening out.
Maybe
I would actually.
with one of our audience members.
Yeah, whatever.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Well, let's see. Gavia and Jenny both.
Yep, I'm here.
Jenny's favorite.
You have the TV on in the background?
TV on in the background.
Gavia,
Yeah, I'm here.
you have the TV on in the background?
Yeah, but it's all the way down. You want me to turn it off?
Please.
No, I can't hear it anymore. I could hear it before. But I was going to say, I've performed a lot for you and for Jenny, so I was thinking I might try Anthony.
Try Anthony, yeah.
Because I've never met Anthony.
Jenny?
Anthony.
Anthony's up.
All right.
Yeah. So can you unmute yourself?
Unmute yourself there, Anthony.
Oh, okay, I can hear you. Never mind. Okay, great.
Okay, I'm unmuted.
Okay, perfect. So, do you guys know this guy?
Chopper Reed.
Ed's teaching me to be a comedian, so that's how I found this place.
Okay, that's what I thought.
My
Anthony, this is about me, not you, okay?
The ego. I was fine being mute. I'll go right back.
I was just playing. Well, I wanted to try something. I'm going to write down a number here. Let's see. Grab a pencil here.
Yeah.
All right. I think that'll work. All right. So I've written down a 2-digit number on the back of this paper here. Okay. Want you to take a deep breath in. Good. And out. Good. And one more time. Good. And back out. Good. And the first number that pops into your head between 10 and 100, go ahead and say it out loud.
4.
4. That's it? Nothing higher?
Well, the first.
That's all right. 4 is good. No, I'm just curious because I actually did write down 4.
I thought. Wow.
So let's see. Let's try a higher one this time. I'm going to write down a different number this time. Let's try one between 50, 50, 50, and 100.
Okay, I've got it.
Go ahead and say it.
99.
99.
Mark Gaston.
Really?
Yep.
99. Now, again, this paper has been here the entire time, right? And look where it looked, 99, right? So this is interesting. So I think I'm going to try something else for you real quick before we go, okay? I had a whole bunch of other stuff planned, but I don't want to keep you guys. So I haven't got the cards here, and a lot of people don't realize the video you saw me do this earlier today. So I'm going to do this the same way, so you can verify that later that I did it exactly the same way. So let me hold it over here because over here blocks my handsome face. Thank you, Ella, for laughing. Remember, I'll give you $5 later for laughing. Okay, so Anthony, a lot of people don't realize that playing cards have been around for centuries, maybe even almost 1,000 years. These, not these, I bought these like a week ago, but playing cards go back before tarot cards. In fact, tarot cards originated as a game, not to read people with, but they used to use playing cards to people. Like for example, the spade, it was somebody who the spade was somebody who follow up. The spade was somebody who's enigmatic, a mystery, secretive, somebody who's a spade either works in a funeral home or ends up being a magician like myself. Then you have hearts. The hearts is somebody who is very emotional. They wear their emotions on their sleeve. They can be romantic. They can be overly emotive. but they definitely live their life according to how they feel. Whereas a club is somebody who's intellectual, somebody who's a deep thinker, somebody who um, um, probably ends up being a mathematician or working in government as a pencil pusher, not as a politician, but like working in the office. And then there's diamonds, which is somebody who is about working all the time and career and success and finance. Now, having said all that, I have one more thing to say about these cards. Actually, two more things. Um, the first thing is that there are 52 cards in a deck of cards, and there are 52 weeks in a year. There are 4 suits in a deck of cards. There are 4 seasons in a year. 2 of the seasons are warm, 2 of the seasons are cold, 2 of the suits are red or hot, and 2 of the suits are black or cold. Okay? Then you have 13 cards in each suit. There are 13 lunar cycles of every year. And finally, if you add up all the values in these cards, they add up to 365, the same as the calendar year. There's no coincidence about that.
Wow.
Now, 8 through 5 is somebody who has a low self-image of themselves or somebody who is humble. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
6, 7, and 8, and 9 is somebody who's even keeled, where 10, Jack, Queen, and King is somebody who has high self-esteem, or in Ed's case, a fucking big ego. So, having said all that, Anthony, what I want you to do is think of a playing card that matches your personality.
It's hard. It's hard to, I mean,
I know.
very hard because I see a little bit of myself in each of those descriptions of characteristics, you know.
Yeah,
I
I know. I'm actually picking it up.
I mean,
Yeah.
somewhere. So,
Yeah.
you know, I would like to, I mean, humbly, I would like to think of myself as a club.
Okay.
I think I'm pretty analytical and, you know, I didn't study math in school, but, you know, I studied math in high school. So,
Do you work with computers by any chance?
yeah, you know, I use them as an accountant. I'm an accountant.
Okay.
I have
Yeah.
a
Okay.
finance
That's
background, so
fine. Okay.
I play around with options and things like that. So
Oh yeah.
I don't take a real analytical approach to it. I use more probability and just basic business.
Okay.
You know? So,
Okay.
you know, I
That
don't
makes
do
sense.
Black Scholes and all
Yeah.
that high math. It
Yeah.
to me seems unnecessary in some cases.
Yeah.
You know, like sometimes practical approach to analysis works better. But so yeah, so I'm an accountant. I'm a licensed accountant. So
Oh, that
you
makes
know, I've
sense.
done that for quite a while.
Mm-hmm.
I actually help Ed with his taxes. That's another way that
Okay. Nice.
So,
Great
So
tax.
actually,
Me too.
yeah.
and
I
Dave,
say it too.
Dave,
Nice.
yeah.
Nice.
Great
So,
tax.
so actually, you could be a diamond as
He's
well.
like Meyer Lansky.
Yeah, well, you know, sometimes I'm real nasty too. You know, I have that in me. So sometimes, you know, I mean, when people are nasty back, you know, I like to think that I'm capable of matching that. So, you know, so I don't know. I'd like to think my default is club, and maybe I like to think I'm humble. So I'd like to call myself an 8, maybe, or a 7 or something.
All right, cool. Well, so can you do me a favor and pick even one because I want to explain. I want to explain the difference between the two.
Okay. You know, I'll pick a 7.
Okay, that's very interesting. Are you a spiritual person?
Yeah, I would say not. You know, I have.
I mean,
healthy
not.
respect
I'm not
for
saying
the unknown.
religious. I'm not saying religious, but do you believe there's something out there?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, I definitely believe that mankind that has not begun to explain a lot of things. So, as soon as, what's out there, I haven't figured it out, but,
Yeah, well, yeah, most people have it. The reason why I ask is because the 7 in numerology has to do with spirituality and the occult,
Hmm.
as the 8 is more about finances and responsibility. And that's why I want you to make a differentiation. It's okay that you picked the 7 because I do sense that you are in tune with certain things that most people are not in tune with. And it may just be that you're really good with numbers, but I'm sensing that there is something more to that. Like perhaps do you don't happen to have a box somewhere that has like um old photographs in it?
I do. I have a huge box of that.
Yeah.
I have a photograph right here,
Can
which
I
is
see
me.
it from her?
This is me and my dog in Brighton Beach. So
Wow.
his name is
Don't say his name. Don't say his name. Don't
okay.
say his name.
So that was
Don't
me
say
and
his
my
name.
dog. He was a standard poodle. He was 75 pounds when he grew up.
Wow.
Mom and dad didn't know he
Wow.
would be that big. So
Did,
yeah.
did you say his name?
I don't think I did. I don't think I said it. No.
Okay, good, because I didn't hear it. So just is he still with us?
No, that was about
It was a
40
long time ago. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, because I'm picking up on a name
Okay.
to see if I'm actually close here.
Okay.
All right. So what was the name?
Socrates.
Socrates. Are you kidding me?
Nope. My dad was a
That's
philosopher.
that is amazing.
He put that right there in my head.
I actually forgot. I actually forgot to put the C in there, but that's the name that came to me was Socrates. Um,
Amazing.
that's so weird. But anyway, so
Wow.
let's get back to this. So um, the 70 diamonds is somebody who. No, I'm sorry. Wait a minute. You said the it was clubs. You said
Clubs. After your descriptions.
7 clubs. I'm sorry. 7 clubs traditionally is somebody who is um, again very intellectual, uses could be an accountant, somebody with numbers, but the number 7 I find very interesting because it is spiritual, it is the occult. Have you ever had experiences with like people being psychic or you being psychic or um, um, having perhaps a just going out there, but
Yeah. I mean, look, I grew up. I mean, not to take away the show here, but
mm,
I'm going to be 50, and I've been in jail a few times. I mean, I was driving home on Ocean Parkway from Manhattan College with my track buddies, and I dropped them off. I ran off the road. I ran over the Avenue J next sign, and I hit a tree in a 1976 Chevy Nova. I still have the photos of that. There's a big indentation of the tree. That's why I'm. So
wow.
I cracked my head, my mandible. I learned. I woke up in Downstate Medical Center, and that was like at that time it was probably what 1988 maybe. So 1989. So they were all criminals from Kings County. Was down there, and there were. It was an emergency room. And they were like. I just remember all these people from jail that were stabbed, and I woke up, it was hours after. My mom was there crying. So, I feel like I've lived a really charmed life. I feel like
Yeah.
God's given me a lot of, second and third and fourth chances. So, I mean, I'm not, I grew up in a church, and, I'm open-minded to any sort of religious thought, but yeah, I feel like I've been I can go on with stories of things that, like that's a real, like I have the photo of that one, but I've escaped a lot of unusual situations. I feel like somebody up there likes me.
Mm-hmm. You actually just reminded me of something that happened to me when I was a kid. I was playing on the sidewalk outside of my building where I grew up, and I was playing with a friend, and we were playing ball, and the ball went out into the street, and I went out into the street to get this ball, and I felt somebody grab me by the collar of my shirt and pulled me back onto the sidewalk. And when I turned around, there wasn't anybody there.
Huh.
And every time I tell my parents that story, they never believe me.
Wow.
But that really happened to me. Anywho,
Yes, back to the trick.
earlier today, yeah, I know it's a long build-up, but that's because this isn't a trick. This is just a mere coincidence that it happens this way. Because what happened is earlier today, I took one card and I flipped it around in the deck, and so it was going the opposite direction from all the other cards, right? And there was no way I could have known you were going to be here today. There's no way I could have known that you're an accountant or you had a dog named Socrates, or that you were going to pick the 7 of clubs. But there it is.
Fantastic.
Wow.
So,
Amazing. That's amazing.
Yeah. Thank you.
yeah.
That's beautiful.
Would you like to see, before we go, would you like to see my favorite card trick in the whole world? Now, this is
Of course, sure.
a magic trick, okay? I'm gonna have to clear my table here because, oh, okay. Hey, baby boy.
Benjamin Buttons.
Benjamin Buttons. Good boy here. Really
So
good. Doing the whole interview. I know, baby. I know. Now that I'm talking about you, now you want to get up and, okay, I shouldn't have said anything. Okay, well, let me move this table over. All right. So, I'm going to bring the camera down so you can see the table. This set comes in three stages. The first stage is very fast, so please don't blink. Okay, so I'm going to open this box and I'm going to take out the cards out of the box, and then yeah, I was just going to let that sink in for a minute.
Oh wow.
Oh,
Jeez.
Okay, there you go. Now you're getting it. Now you're getting it. This came out of this. Okay, so that's phase 1. Okay, phase 2 is we remove all the jokers. There's one and there's the other one. So the jokers come out. And now let's do this with Ella. Ella, who came back. Hi, Ella. Ella, I'm gonna riffle through the cards here like this, and you're just gonna say stop whenever you want, okay? So here we go.
stop.
Right here.
Yeah.
That good?
Yeah.
Who says stop?
Ed Malone.
Ed Malone.
Okay, so we're gonna be asking. You stop it now. Obviously, I can see what it is. But if you were here, I wouldn't be able to see the reflection in the camera. But I do know this is the 8 of hearts now. But that's okay. It doesn't matter because I'm going to make your card vanish just like that. It's gone. Now, I don't know if you can see these from that far away, but if I pick these up and fan them one at a time, you will see that the 8 of hearts is no longer in the pack.
Nice.
just like that. I didn't even have to do anything. But if you remember in the beginning of the trick, I took these out of here, which by itself is an impossibility. But the reason why it's impossible is not because this box is smaller, it's because this box has something in it already.
Oh,
And what does it have? It has a folded up playing card. And what does that folded up playing card other than the 8 of hearts?
Whoa.
Wow.
Tommy Burnett, everybody.
give it up for Tommy Burnett. Wow, what a
This guy is good.
yes, he is.
Fantastic, Tommy. It was a pleasure to have you on tonight.
Our first ever guest.
And our first ever guest on our first ever podcast.
Honored to have you, Tommy. Thank you.
Guys, you can follow me on at Real Deal O'Hara on Instagram.
We'll type it in here. I'm at Clown Guru.
And I think that's it for the evening, guys.
Yes.
Can I just plug something real quick?
Of course.
My website is tommyburnett.com.
1 second.
And, every Wednesday and every Saturday night at 7 o'clock is my new show called The Medium and the Mentalist. And you can find the link on my website or on my Facebook page, Tommy Burnett Magic. And I also am going to be doing a one-man show starting in May. And there'll be more information on that on my website as well as Facebook. So thank you for having me, guys.
Thank you. And we're gonna upload this to YouTube and lots of other formats, and we'll spread the word. Thank you all for attending, Ms. E,
Excellent.
Jenny, Davida, Renee, Colleen, Anthony, all of you.
Yeah.
Thank you. It was
Thank you.
great, Tommy. Thanks so much.
Good
Thank
night,
you all.
guys. Thank
Have a
you.
safe night.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you for coming.